This is page 334. This is the guided practice for lesson 12.1. The directions read, identify the coordinates of each point in the coordinate plane. Name the quadrant where each point is located. Point A is 5 units blank of the origin. Well, point A is to the left of the origin, so we're going to put left here. And blank unit from the origin. Well, the origin's right here, and A is up from that. So we go to the left and then we go up. So we're going to start with the words left and up. And the reason why we do that is because that helps us identify if these numbers are positive or if they are negative. Its coordinates are blank. Well, if we go to the left, it means it's negative 5 because it's 5 units to the left, comma, and positive 1. Just put a 1. You don't have to put a plus 1. Positive 1. So its coordinates for A are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5, and up 1. It is in quadrant blank. Remember the quadrants go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in quadrant 2. Okay, let's move on. It's not in quadrant 11, by the way. It's in quadrant 2. You can go like this if you want. All right, point B is blank units to the right of the origin. So B is right here, and it's 1, 2 units to the right. And blank units down, 1, 2, 3. You can see right here it's at negative 3. So it's 3 units down. So to the right means positive, so the first term is positive 2. And down means negative, so it's 2, comma, negative 3. And it is in quadrant 4, IV. Those are Roman numerals. Okay, good job. We are done with the first part. Let's move on. Numbers 3 and 4 say graph and label each point on the coordinate plane above. So we're supposed to put point C and point D on this coordinate plane right here. Point C is negative 3.5 and 3. Negative 3.5 means to the left 3.5. So it's in between. Oh, it's right there. There's the 3. So it's right here. And up, the next number is positive, so it's up 3. So it's right here. So again, we go 1, 2, 3.5 to the left because it's negative, and 1, 2, 3 up. It's right there. I'm going to erase that though. And we're supposed to label it, so I'm going to put a C there. And we're now on D. D is at over 5, up 0. Since it's a positive, we go to the right 5 spaces, and we go up 0, which means it's actually on the x-axis. This is point D. So make sure you have point C and point D in the correct spot. Okay, let's move on. For 5 through 7, use the coordinate plane shown. Number 5 reads, describe the scale of the graph. So let's zoom in a little bit and examine it. So to get from 0 over to 1, there's 2 spaces there. So what would go exactly in between 0 and 1? Well, it's just a half. And we could do this in fractions, or we could do it in decimals. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to call it a fraction. I'm going to say 1/2. And so what would this one be? This would be 1.5. You could do decimals though. Either way, we're going to go ahead and describe it. Well, what is the scale of the graph? The scale is going by halves. Going by 1/2. I'm just going to say 1/2. Scale is going by 1/2. Okay, so we're supposed to point plot A at negative 1/2 and 2, and plot point B at 2.5 and negative 2. So how do we do that? Well, we just said we're going up by halves. And so we're going to go to this point. I'm going to go and highlight this point right here. Negative 1/2 and 2. Negative 1/2 would be to the left. It's going to be right here. And 2 is going to be up, and it's going to be right here. That's going to be point A. That's at negative 1/2 because it's right here, and then it's up to 2. And then point B is over 2.5. That's to the right because it's positive. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 2.5 right here. This is going to be 2.5 right here. This line. And then negative 2 is down to here. So that's going to be point B. All right, we are on number 8, vocabulary. It reads, describe how an ordered pair represents a point on a coordinate plane. Include the x-coordinate, y-coordinate, and origin in your answer. Well, what do we do? I mean, what are we doing? We're taking the first number and we're going left to right. So the first number, comma, called the x-coordinate, tells you how far to go left if it's negative, or right if it's positive, from the origin. The second number, the y-coordinate, tells you how far to go up if it's positive, or down if it's negative, from the origin. I'm going to read that one more time. I'm going to actually read the question and the answer, and I'm going to point out to you how it meets all the criteria. Because first of all, it tells us what to do, which is kind of the point. The question reads, describe how an ordered pair represents a point on a coordinate plane. Include the terms x-coordinate, y-coordinate, and origin in your answer. The first number, called the x-coordinate, tells you how far to go left, negative, or right, positive, from the origin. The second number, y-coordinate, tells you how far to go up if it's positive, or down if it's negative, from the origin. I think that's a pretty complete answer, and I think it answers the question. Okay, we're on the essential check-in question, number 9. It reads, give the coordinates, hold on a second, give the coordinates of one point in each of the 4 quadrants, 1 point on the x-axis and 1 point on the y-axis. So this would take a minute. I'm going to make a little deal here. So this is the y, this is the x, this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4. And so we're going to do, I'm going to just do it this way. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, the x, and the y. Okay, a point to get in the first quadrant. How about just over 2, up 2? 1, 2, 1, 2. What would be that? Over 2, up 2? That'd be 2, 2. All right, how about quadrant 2? It's not going to be exactly the same. How about over 2 to the left and up 2 again? But that's going to be negative 2 because it's to the left and then up 2. How about quadrant 3? How about over 2, down 2? Well, we went over to the left, so that's down 2, and then that's negative 2, and we went down 2, that's also negative 2. All right, you can probably see a pattern here. How about quadrant 4? How about over 2 and down 2? Over 2 is positive 2, down 2 is negative 2. Now those might all look the same, but they're not. This is positive 2, positive 2. This is negative 2, positive 2. This is negative 2, negative 2. And this is positive 2, negative 2. All right, now how about the x-axis? How do I get a point on the x-axis? Well, how about to the left 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I don't go up or down. To the left 4 would be negative 4, comma, 0. And then how about the y-axis? How do I get a point on the y-axis? How about go down a few spots? But think about this. If we go down a few spots but we don't go left or right, that means the first coordinate is 0, because the first coordinate tells us to go left or right. So if I put 0 from the origin, that means I don't go left or right. I just stay right on the y-axis, and then go down 4 would be now negative 4. Now these answers vary. Your answers don't have to be exactly like mine, but those are all the answers I have here are correct, but they're not the only correct answers. If you came up with different ones, they could be just fine. Okay, great job. You're done with page 334.